Excuses, excuses, you hear 'em every day. The devil here supply them if the church you stay away. When people come to know the Lord, the devil always loses. So to keep them folks away from church, he offers them excuses. In the summer, it's just too hot. And in the winter, it's just too cold. In the springtime, when the weather is just right, you'll find some else place to go. When it's up on the mountains or down on to the beach, or to visit some old friend, or to just to kind of stay home and kind of relax, and hope that some of the kinfolks will stop dropping in. Well, the church benches are just too hard, and the choir sings way too loud. Boy, you know how nervous you get when you're sitting in that big crowd. The doctor told you now you better watch them crowds. They'll set you back a time or two. But you'll go to that big ball game because you say it helps you to relax. Well, a headache Sunday morning and a backache Sunday night. But by work time Monday morning, you're feeling just alright. Well, one of the children has a cold. Pneumonia, do you suppose? Why, the whole family has to stay home just to blow that poor kid's nose. Excuses, excuses, you hear 'em every day. And the devil here supply them if the church you stay away. When people come to know the Lord, the devil always loses. So to keep them folks away from church, he offers them excuses. Well, that preacher, he's just too young. And maybe he's just too old. The sermons, they're not hard enough. And maybe they're just too bold. His voice is much too quiet like. Sometimes he gets too loud. He needs to have more dignity or else he's way too proud. Well, the sermons, they're just too long. And maybe they're just too short. He ought to preach the word with dignity instead of a stop and snort. Well, that preacher we've got must be the world's most stuck-up man. Well, one of the ladies told me the other day, well, he didn't even shake my hand. Excuses, excuses, you hear 'em every day. And the devil he'll supply them if the church you stay away. When people come to know the Lord, the devil always loses. So keep them folks away from church. He offers them excuses. Well, the sermons, they're just too long. And maybe they're just too short. He ought to preach the word with dignity instead of a stomp and snort. Well, that preacher we've got must be the world's most stuck-up man. Well, one of the ladies told me the other day, well, he didn't even shake my hand. Excuses, excuses, you hear 'em every day. And the devil he'll supply them if the church you stay away. When people come to know the Lord, he always loses. So keep him away from church. He offers them excuses.